Hello and welcome back to Risa's Quilts and Crafts. We're not exactly doing anything quilt related and not exactly anything craft related. You see, when my fiance and I first moved in together, we had not even a bookshelf between us. I think we actually were gifted one by a coworker at my office. She was redecorating her office, and so she ended up giving me one of her bookshelves. I kind of reorganized some of the books on that bookshelf because we now have this new bookshelf which my fiance and I purchased. And so this is kind of me going through my books that I have, kind of deciding and sorting through like which ones are going to go on that bookshelf that's out in the living room, and then which ones are going to be in this bookshelf in our bedroom. And so I kind of wanted to take you along with this sort of refresh and this upgrade of our bookshelves and kind of talk you through some of the things that I'm putting on this bookshelf that are a little more sentimental to me, since the books on the other bookshelf are sort of books that like I haven't read yet. I don't really know what they're about. Well, I do, I read the description. A lot of them too are books that I've gotten or acquired through the little libraries where like you leave a book and then you take a book. So I love participating in those, and there's so many around in our community and everything. So those are kind of books that I've acquired from them and I just haven't had a chance to read yet. But once I finish them, they will be going back into circulation. However, these books are not going to be in circulation. They are very sentimental to me. They were gifted. They're authors that I love. They're series that I want to just keep, you know, they're very close to my heart. I will also say on this bookshelf, I've also put some like knickknacks and like other fun things. For instance, this is a little box that I keep some of our cat maintenance, cat self-care, cat care items. So like some of the nail clippers, I keep like a little treat pouch in there. Also amongst some of these books are some of the books that I acquired when I was going through my master's degree, and so they're just sort of writing and craft writing related books that I also just want to keep on hand. Another thing, I agreed with my fiance, since he's been so inspired by my collection of books and all of my reading and everything, that he and I did have an agreement that he can also have a shelf of his own in here. So one of these shelves is his. I've already got it. It's one of the higher shelves. So that's where his books are. One of the first things that I'll show is this Nancy Drew Mystery Stories books 1 through 4. I absolutely love Nancy Drew. I grew up reading the mysteries and everything, and this was actually a set that I purchased at a local bookstore. I just saw it on the shelf. I saw it was really cute. It had some like, not original art, but it just had some like really fun art, and I wanted to start collecting some Nancy Drew books, not like hardcore, I need to like go and find and seek out all these different kinds of books, but rather if I go to a thrift store and I see a Nancy Drew book that I haven't seen before, or just a random one, whatever condition it's in, I'm gonna get it and kind of keep them for funsies and everything. Again too, I've seen them at free little libraries, so I might take one, leave one, but these are definitely staying on my bookshelf. I don't know which shelf I want to put them on just yet, but I'll put them right there for now. It's a box set, so keep them together. Another set of books that I plan on keeping in here are my Ali Hazelwood books. I absolutely love Ali Hazelwood. She's one of my favorite authors, and I absolutely love all of the books that I've read from her so far, which are nearly all of her books. Some of these, I think I actually have 1 or 2 that are signed by her, so I'm absolutely like definitely keeping those and everything, but this collection is definitely going to be staying in here. I think just right there for right now. Found another one that I recently purchased, so that's gonna go on the shelf as well. It's gonna lay down until I get more books on there. This one is another of Ali Hazelwood's. This is actually the actual title of the book. I do have the special edition of it. I purchased this special with the you know, special art covers. The sprayed edges are a little different. You'll see this is silver and this is like the water, and it also comes with like original art and everything in it. So I will be keeping both of these, especially too because this paperback copy is actually signed by her. So these are both staying in this bookshelf. And I'm not usually one to collect both a paperback and a hardcover copy of the same book. I usually just get one or the other, and it doesn't really matter to me whether, if it's like in a series and I have one that's hardcover, one that's softcover, I'll just get whatever, as long as it's the book, you know what I mean? And speaking of series, these are some of the Nancy Drew books that I have. This one is The Clue of the Tapping Heels, Mystery at Lilac Inn, and this one is The Strange Message in the Parchment. Now, some of these, like I said, I purchased at thrift stores. I've gotten from the little libraries, and I actually think I got this one at a little library, so I may actually bring that back, kind of as an excuse to put one back and get a new book. But I'll keep it on the bookshelf for right now with the other Nancy Drew books that I have. So these are some other books that I consider to be very close to my heart and that I just really want to keep. So there is Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I purchased this in North Carolina at a coffee shop when I was visiting my brother and some of his friends. And I didn't actually read from the physical book. I actually found an audiobook on YouTube, and it had rain sounds in the background, and it was just one of those books that I read in the evening to sort of wind down and relax from the day and everything, which is kind of funny considering it's Coraline and it's not exactly a book that you would wind down listening to. But the person who I was listening to, his voice was just an amazing reader, and with the added rain sounds in the background was just an incredible experience. So, and again too, this book just has a lot of memories for me, so I will be keeping this. Can't go wrong with Pride and Prejudice. It is one of my favorite, I would actually say it is my favorite Jane Austen book and everything. I also absolutely love the Keira Knightley movie of it, and so yeah, I just also really like this cover. It's really cute. Can't go wrong with pink, so it's staying. Along with the whole Jane Austen theme, I do have the wrong way, okay. I do have these manga versions of Pride and Prejudice as well as Emma. I haven't actually had a chance to flip through and read them, but they're going on my bookshelf nonetheless. I believe one of these was gifted, might have been Pride and Prejudice, and then I found the Emma, and I was like, oh, I have to get it. I'll get a cute little collection of all of them, manga classics, so keeping those. So along with the Pride and Prejudice book and then also the manga adaptation of it, I do also have some other Pride and Prejudice themed things that I will also be keeping either on the same shelf or near it. This is a From the Desk of Jane Austen, 100 different postcards. I have been pulling from them very rarely. As you can see, the box is still very close to the top, but I have been going through, flicking through, using them for scrapbooking and everything. I just love the box. I love that it's just a cute little thing, and it has a silhouette with quotes on the front, and so it's actual writings from Jane Austen in some of her letters that she sent. Also, I have this puzzle, Pride and Prejudice. I believe it's a double-sided puzzle, and I remember seeing it on the shelf at Barnes & Noble and thinking if I get that, I'd have to get 2 copies of it because I'd want to frame the one side and the back side of it because it's double-sided. You can't just frame the one side and not have the other side visible as well. So it was really funny. I ended up not buying it. So it was just really funny. For my birthday, my friend sent me this and I immediately called her and was like, oh my gosh, I didn't buy that for myself. So I absolutely love it. I haven't actually done it, but it's gone on the shelf, so hopefully it will get picked up and I will put the puzzle together. Like I said, I'm not going to go through every single book that I have piled here. There are some things that I am just going to go ahead and put on the shelf, but I do want to just go through some of them. Another author that I keep near and dear to my heart is Lana Ferguson. I don't have all of her books, but I have read most of them. I've read Lock and Key. I have not yet read Game Changer. But when I first read her book, The Nanny, I was hooked. I love her. I follow her on Instagram, and she's definitely going to be an author that I continue to follow and will probably read every single one of her books. Any book that she publishes, I will be reading it. Owning is another thing, but I will definitely read them. At the same book event that I met Ali Hazelwood and got, I think 1 or 2 of my books signed there by her, I did also find this new author. Her name is Christy Boyce, and so she's written Dating and Dragons and Dungeons and Drama. And I do know that she's actually published, I want to say a couple more books since then. And so while I was standing in line for Ali Hazelwood, which the line was like 2 hours, this was just a free event at a Florida library. And so I actually had my mom run over and get these books signed as well, because it was a bunch of different authors and I just happened to recognize Christy Boyce's name because I had purchased this. There was like a whole event going on where if you purchased this book, you got a customized, or not a customized, but like a special like D20 die and everything, which I still have. I just don't know where it is, but I have it. And so I was actually able to, see, there's special stuff that you got if you went in person. So yeah, I have this book signed and I believe I have this copy signed. Yep, both of these books are signed by the author and everything. They are personalized, and so these are definitely near and dear to my heart, and I will be keeping and holding on to these for as long as possible. They're gonna go right next to the Ali Hazelwood books. There's literally no particular order that I'm putting these books on the shelf. It's just whatever I see fit, whatever works. If I don't know what I want to order them as. There's no alphabetical order. There's just whatever fits my whimsy, pretty much. But I'm thinking I want to put these right next to the Ali Hazelwood books. Adding to my Lana Ferguson collection, I do also have The Fake Mate. Absolutely love this book. I also read the sequel to it as well, or I listened to it. I don't have the copy of that book. I probably won't purchase it, but I do have this and it's gonna go on my bookshelf. I also just found this pile in my room that I will also be adding to this bookshelf, so we'll go through those as well. Okay, I just had to go find a little something to sit on because I was sitting on my legs and they are really hurting right now. I guess that's what happens when you get older. I'm not old really by any means, but man, I should not be doing that. Amongst my piles, I just found another Ali Hazelwood book. This again too was it was a Spotify book first, and then she published it. So it's a novella. Absolutely loved it when I listened to it. There's a bonus chapter in here as well, so another perk or a reason to purchase it. I don't know if there was any special additional art that was included in it. I think it's just the additional chapter that was published in it, but I absolutely love it. We're gonna make it work. On the same vein of favorite authors, I am also a diehard of Tessa Bailey. This is a very small collection of her books. I don't see myself purchasing every single one of her books, but it's certainly quite a chunk. Absolutely love Tessa Bailey. Loved all of these books. I'm in the middle of Catch Her If You Can. Here's my bookmark. That's how far into it I am. I'm actually not going to be putting this on my bookshelves. I'm still gonna finish reading it. Another one of Tessa Bailey's books that I purchased is Happenstance. Have not read it yet. Don't really know exactly what it's about, but I have it and I am ready to read it. So if you thought my love for Jane Austen stopped at Pride and Prejudice, absolutely did not. I actually love the spin-offs or the rewrites or the adaptations or like other stuff that people write about it as well. I have read so many, and I actually have these two that I have not read that I've had on my bookshelf for a little while. I've already read Mr. Darcy's Diary, but now this is Dear Mr. Darcy, the retelling of Pride and Prejudice by Amanda Grange, and I've read a couple of her books, absolutely love them, so I have this one as well. This one is Darcy and Elizabeth, Nights and Days at Pemberley, Pride and Prejudice Continues by Linda Birdall. So these are gonna go on the bookshelf next to Pride and Prejudice. These are just kind of like, I'll get there when I get there. If I'm feeling like in a Pride and Prejudice mood, because you know that feeling comes around every so often where you just need to reread or revisit a beloved story and everything, but you want something a little new or a little bit different, you go to these. Continuing along in the vein of older books that are a little sentimental to my heart, I do have some books from a series of unfortunate events. Only 2 right now, because with these books, normally I don't care if the book is the paperback or hardcover. I don't care if it's a special edition or that much, but with these, I do really want to get the hardcover, really nice, looking copies of that. I'm not going out and purchasing like the full set like in one go. I'm just kind of waiting and trying to see if I can find them on my own. So right now I currently have number 5, which is the Austere Academy, and then I have number 10, the Slippery Slope. And this, I would say, was the series of books that really got me into reading. Absolutely loved it. The author and the voice was just so funny and so intriguing, and I was absolutely hooked. I actually finished the book before my friend did, and I think she was on the Slippery Slope when I started, and I just read through it so quickly that I actually finished the book series before her. This series of books is actually more of a recent read, but these were books that I absolutely loved and devoured. I had to go out and buy all 4 of them. Currently only have 3, but that's because the 4th one I've loaned out to a friend of mine who I insisted had to read these. And this is the 4 Horsemen series by Laura Thalassa. Amazing dark fantasy with a touch of romance writer. Absolutely loved it. I've read this series from her. I started reading Rhapsodic by her. That's a part of another series. This one consists of pestilence, war, and famine, and then also death, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Such amazing books. Absolutely love them. I love the world and the history and everything that she wrote with these. I love the characters. I love the relationships. Overall, amazing. Had to read them. Have to keep them. So good. I would have to say, out of these 4 books, in order of like favorite, Death would have to be my favorite book, even though it's the end and everything and like bleh. That I would then say Pestilence was another favorite of mine, which is ironic because my friend loves War and Famine. Those are her favorites. Put that right next to Tessa Bailey because that fits. This next book series was a random Walmart purchase. I think they actually only had the 2nd book of the series, and I had to, the next day, go out to Barnes & Noble and get the 1st book that's in the series just because I was so interested in reading it. It is Cash first. I think he's the oldest brother, and then Wyatt. I just had to purchase them. I obviously started at the wrong book. I started with Wyatt, and then I have to go to Cash instead, so I'm reading a little out of order, but that's fine, I think. You know, you still get the whole story and the whole thing, and it's not like War, Pestilence, and Famine where you have to like actually read and know what happens in each prior book. These, you can kind of pick up what's gone on and everything and just move along. It's all right. Another recent series, or I guess this was specifically trilogy with like just another book added on, was the Ruinous Love Trilogy by Brynne Weaver. Butcher and Blackbird, my absolute favorite. I also loved Lark's book, which I forget what the title's called, but loved that, loved the series, loved the 3rd book. I screamed when it came out and I got my hold at the library. So excited, devoured all 3 of those books. And when I heard that there was another book coming out, I had to get it. So went and got this one, Tourist Season. I kept special eyes on this book knowing that it was coming out. So I have it now. I have the 1st one to go back to and read whenever I want to. So these are definitely going on the bookshelf. Whether I go back and get the rest of the books, I'll leave that up to future me to decide. But right now, these books, very near and dear to my heart, they will be going onto the bookshelf. Yeah, I will also say too, for as like graphic and gory or whatever you want to call it, as Butcher and Blackbird was, I will say one of the few like dark humored books that actually had me laughing out loud while I was listening to it. So highly recommend if you're open to it. Definitely more on the vein of like dark romance, but I also love like the low-key obsession that they have with each other. So it was a good read. Very much enjoyed that. On the vein of kind of dark but also humorous reads is the Into Darkness trilogy. Have the 3rd one, Game On. Absolutely love, I keep on saying that too. I feel like I'm just saying I absolutely love this, absolutely love that. That's going to be the theme of this video just because these are all my favorite books or all the books that are near and dear to my heart, but it's also sprayed edged, which is very cool. Are you ready to play? Very much looking forward to reading this. This is the one that I haven't read yet. I read the other 2. I really liked the 2. I would say I preferred the 1st one because, again, laugh out loud funny. Some of those scenes were just hilarious. Absolutely love them. The second one, I wouldn't say was a favorite of mine. Probably wouldn't go out of my way to purchase a copy of that, but I did enjoy it. And I did enjoy like the expansion of like the world and the other characters and the connections they have with the characters in the original or the first book. But knowing who the main characters are in this book, I would say I'll be honest and say I was a little disappointed to hear that who is it? Tyler Newman is the main protagonist in this one, or like the love interest. I wasn't exactly interested in hearing about his story, so I am cautiously optimistic about this one, kind of going in with a little bit of hesitancy. I would have preferred with the second book. It was one of the cousins or one of the brothers in that book that he was one of the more quiet of the bunch. I think I would have preferred his story. Maybe that's just me. I like a good, quiet, mysterious character and kind of unpacking that sort of like unknown. But like I said, love this author. I love this series so far, and I am looking forward to seeing what this book has in store. But right now, because I'm in the middle of so many other books, it's gonna go on the shelf and I will pick it up next time. Okay, so some of the writing or writing-esque books that I do have that I will be keeping on my shelf are, this one's not one of those, the Scene book, a primer for the, oh my god. So the first one is the Scene book, a primer for the fiction writer. I also have Bird by Bird, some instructions on writing and life. I then have Story Genius, how to use brain science to go beyond outlining and write a riveting novel. And then I also have Writing Down the Bones, freeing the writer within. So now I just wanted to share with you too some of the like not reading, I guess, books that I will also be including or keeping on my bookshelf, which are my book journals. So these are the journals that I kind of keep track of all of the books that I've been reading throughout the years, and where I'll do a full page spread on the books, just kind of, I'll show you, just kind of like getting the theme. Oh, perfect. Butcher and Blackbird. So kind of catching the theme of the book and everything through stickers and visuals. And I can't really tell, but I do have some stuff written about the book, just some like fun, like single page spreads and everything. Just Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, all pink. And it's just something fun that I've been doing for a couple of years now, and stuff that I just want to keep around. And I have a cute little like cinema roll bookmark with charms on it and everything in it. And so I actually have a few of these. I have this one with cinema roll that just says notebook, put all those stickers on there. This one is my junk journal that I'll also be keeping on there as well. And then this is another book journal that I went back a couple years and kept track of other books that I've read. So this is a bit of an older one, so it would go kind of in this order. So like older books, 2025, and then this is like 2026, I think, for those books. And then I actually also started to keep a little book. It was originally a photo album, but I've also started keeping pages in here of some of my favorite authors and the books that I've read of my favorite authors. So as soon as I hear of a new book that's coming out from my favorite author or one of them, I will actually write it down in this little journal and cross it off once I've read it. The last few things that I will show you that will be going on the bookshelf, which is looking a lot fuller now that everything's off the floor and actually on the shelves. I keep together this book, technically not a book, it's more of a container. It's one of those hollow books, and inside I keep little books or things that I've, created with book covers on them, books that I've read, and I'll put the cover on them like so. So here is a Tessa Bailey book, Picture Perfect. Will it focus? You get the idea. So it's actually styrofoam board that I cut out into little teeny tiny pieces, and then I've gone and printed out the covers of books that I've read or I want to read. And once I've read them, I keep them in a jar separately. Like I pre-make them and everything. So most or just some of my TBR I've gone ahead and made into these little teeny tiny booklets and everything, and I keep them in a jar. And so once I finished a book that I know that I've printed out or made, or I'll go and make it, I will then take it and put it into my big book like this. And so it's just kind of like a cute little bookshelf. So instead of, well, the idea was that instead of having a real life bookshelf where I keep all of my books, I keep a mini book, or a, you know, mini bookshelf with mini versions of the books that I've read and everything. So it's helped in a sense that I'm not purchasing a ton of books, but I am still purchasing books and keeping full copies of them. But it would be a lot more if I had copies of every single one of these books. Let's be real. So yeah, that's what I'm putting on my bookshelf in here. There's a few books, like I said, that I will not have talked about that you'll probably see. Just know that they're books that I love, or books that I want to read, or stuff that's near and dear to my heart for one reason or another. And yeah, thank you guys so much for coming along and helping me go through my books. So, see you next time. Bye.